Today I have not been doing too much. Just watched some Japanese anime without subtitles, and watched a bunch of episodes of The Wire. It's actually my day off today. I usually have the day off on Tuesdays. And so, yeah, I've been watching the show, that famous HBO show, The Wire. It took me like an episode or two to get into it before I felt invested in the story, but now I'm really invested. And honestly, I don't even really want to be recording this podcast. I just want to keep on watching episodes of The Wire because it's getting better and better as it goes on, as more and more characters get introduced and more levels to the hierarchy of the city. In The Wire, it kind of illustrates like from the poorest of the poor to the richest of the rich. It just shows you what that hierarchy is like on the criminal side of things, and also on the the police side of things, and also in other places. So it's a very interesting and intricately woven story, at least so far. And whenever I watch something that's well made, it feels like I'm watching real life almost, or an altered version of real life, the kind of version of real life where you take all of the boring parts out, but it feels real, is what I'm getting at. Like the acting and the pacing and the way the shots are placed, it doesn't feel like it's trying to be superficial in any way. Or it doesn't seem like it's trying to up the ante or make super weird editing choices or anything like that. It's just trying to be real, and that's cool. There was one point where they were trying to be kind of edgy and cool and whatnot. There was this one scene where these two detectives are investigating a homicide in an apartment, and pretty much the entire scene is just them saying different versions of the word fuck. Fuck me, fuck, and basically it's showing you what they're doing. Like they're discovering that the bullet actually hadn't been found, and they found it in a refrigerator, and like they went through a whole process of looking at the photos, placing the photos on the ground where the killer was, and then like placing the photos where the window was and where the bullet went through the window, and then working out where the bullet went to by doing that. And all they said throughout the entire scene was, "Oh fuck, fuck me." They're just different versions of fuck. It was pretty good. It was a pretty interesting scene actually. But most of the scenes in this series, The Wire, they just feel like I'm watching real people, and that's a good thing. Like the editing is not invasive, and it doesn't make you feel like it's actually being edited, which is the right kind of editing usually. I mean, sometimes I do appreciate it when the editing is crazy and weird, but in this circumstance, I think it fits to have the editing just not noticeable at all. You just feel like you're watching these people. And it's kind of a slow-going process. Like it's showing you all of the problems with bureaucracy, like the problems that you have to go through. Like there are certain people in the hierarchy of police academy or whatever. There's certain people in the hierarchy of that system that just want to get stats. They just want to get higher. They just want to get promotions. And they don't care if they're actually catching criminals. And they're willing to like throw a bunch of people under the bus just to get higher rank or whatever. And there's other people who really do want to catch criminals, but they usually get taken off of cases because they cause trouble, because they're actually trying to achieve things. It's a very interesting hierarchy, and that's the same thing on the criminal side too. There's people who don't want to kill, and then there's people who are just willing to kill anybody to get what they want. So yeah, I'm really digging The Wire. I think it's really cool, and I hope it stays as good through the entire series. And I'm gonna get through the entire 5 seasons of it within like a week or so, or maybe 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to actually talk about the series as a whole. That'll be good. That'll be something to talk about. This series is like very famous, I guess. A lot of film critics talk about it and say that's one of the best things ever. Film crit Hulk says that it's like a kind of like a miracle that this thing is as good as it is, because it's both a biopic, which he says biopics tend to not, like they tend to go toward, they either tend to be too realistic and follow too closely the events that actually happened, to the point where it doesn't make sense dramatically, like you can't structure something dramatically if you just follow the events perfectly, or they go too far the other way and make it too fake. But this particular series, The Wire, he says, is able to just get that perfect middle ground, that perfect sweet spot right in the middle for biopic making purposes, where it's dramatically sound, meaning every episode kind of ends on the right cliffhangers and you get a good sense of tension throughout the whole thing, but it's also following the biopic, following the story closely and accurately and realistically. And thematically saying things, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to keep watching The Wire, and that's all I'm going to do for now. This has been the Coquino Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.